But I do gotta give him credit. He's the first Doctor that put a cap in a Dalek, dude. Even though Christopher Eccleston had only one season of Doctor Who, he still deserves an A. In that one season of Doctor Who, I'm pretty sure he gave us one of the best performances of any Doctor ever. It's mind-boggling because from setup to payoff, I think this is probably one of the best seasons of Doctor Who of all time. Probably tied for first place with season 5. I think it even beats out season 4 with David Tennant and Donna. If you don't like Christopher Eck, then I don't know, you're taking the piss. You know, I hate how this is out of order. I'm going to start with it in order. William Hartnell, the granddaddy, everyone's favorite grandpa. Because let's be honest, the guy is like everyone's favorite grandpa. We love William Hartnell. He gets B. The Unearthly Child is still today one of the best classic Doctor Who episodes of all time. Like the idea of its origin is just really cool too, because they're like, we don't have a lot of money, let's make a cool sci-fi flick. His spaceship is a police box and it's bigger on the inside. Why? Because it's cool. All right, Patrick Trouten, I think, is the best classic Doctor of all time. Tomb of the Cybermen. That is the greatest classic Doctor Who story of all time. There's some debate. This is all subjective. Nah, this is the definitive best. Okay, in America, where I live, obviously, if you couldn't tell by my Australian accent, most people love either David Tennant, but a lot of them really love Matt Smith. And we wouldn't have had Matt Smith and the success he had in America and a lot of it in the UK as well, if it wasn't for Patrick Troughton. John Pertwee gets a B. In fact, he gets above William Hartnell. I wasn't a huge fan of John Pertwee. I watched his first story. I didn't really enjoy it. I watched the one after that. Didn't really enjoy it. Luckily, one of our returning guests on the show, Landry Q. Walker, put me on to The Time Warrior, the first Centauran's story. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to watch it. He goes, trust me, you watch it, you'll be a fan of John Pertwee. I said, okay, well, I'll check it out. I checked it out. Dear God, John Pertwee is one of the best classic Doctors. Oh my God. I mean, we got the Master during his run. We got although I'm one of those people who thinks actually the Master was from the second season with the Warmonger. Tom Baker. Nah, I'm kidding. Nah, it's an S tier. I mean, come on. Tom Baker. There's not much I gotta say. Tom Baker was the definitive Doctor and still is the definitive Doctor for a lot of Doctor Who fans. John Pertwee was my father's first, but the one that made him stick around for Doctor Who when he was a kid was Tom Baker. His voice alone brings me a smile. His voice alone brings me a smile. I gotta give it a C. He's just the middle of the road, but I do gotta give him credit. He's the first Doctor, at least that I can think of right now in this moment, that put a cap in a Dalek, dude. I think that is his best story. I'm not even joking this time. I just don't like Colin Baker's Doctor. I'm sorry. I know he's like the king of Big Finish, but he's like the worst of main canon Doctor. Trial of a Time Lord is actually not bad. I liked it for what it was. I like the beginning and end of Trial of a Time Lord. The middle part I did not like. All I gotta say is Happiness Patrol. I'll leave it to that. Sylvester Mccoy gets a C. Not the best, but he does have a few pretty good episodes. And certainly more good episodes than Colin Baker. Remembrance of the Daleks, that's a good one. Ace really stood out in that too. He had one of the best companions too, Ace. I do think there are some hit and misses with his Doctor. I wish we got a little more, and it's sad that he was the last one before he got cut off the air. Paul McGann gets a B. Doctor Who the movie is actually very underrated. I do like it. I don't like the ending, but from start to finish, I pretty much like it. Big Finish work is astounding, and I'm including Big Finish for his Doctor Who role because he only had one story, which was the movie, and everyone else had either runs or an entire season. So I'm including his Big Finish work, and so that for that he gets a B. The King, David Tennant, gets a top of the top. He is the best Doctor of all time. I don't really have to say much. Season 3 could be one of the best seasons of Doctor Who of all time, from premise to payoff. Absolutely. Gave us the master. And then possibly the best run of episodes of all time in season 4. Partners in Crime, Fires of Pompeii. Then, you know, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes that were just mediocre. And then right after that, Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight, Turn Left, Stolen Earth, Journey's End, Next Doctor. You know, Planet of the Dead was eh. But then right after that, Water of Mars, which is probably one of the best single episodes of Doctor Who of all time. Then End of Time Part 1 and Part 2. That's what makes him the best. Matt Smith gets an A. He is just a copy with his own flair of my favorite classic Doctor of all time. But not only that, he has his own character. He is a really, really old man, but really young at heart. And he fluctuates masterfully. It's hard for me to choose. Like, if I could, I would put these like right underneath each other for tie, because I love them both so much. Even the worst episodes of Matt Smith's run, you still enjoy it because he's just there. He is a great person. You love his charisma. I'll give him A. When he does get the good scripts, he can be one of the best Doctors of all time. Look at Heaven Sent. That is probably a 1 to 2 best single episode of Doctor Who of all time. The only shame with that is Heaven Sent, one of the best of all time, followed by, since it was a 2-parter, followed by one of the worst, Hellbent, which is infuriating. Jodie Whittaker gets an F. All I gotta say is The Timeless Children. Making William Hartnell not the first Doctor is like slapping your own grandfather. We do get a gem once to 2 pushing it. That's pushing it every season with Jodie. I mean, season 1, we got Rosa. That's a fantastic episode. Season 2, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. A lot of her stuff is forgettable, and it's upsetting because Jodie Whittaker is a phenomenal actress, with Broadchurch being the example of look what she can do. Jo Martin gets a C. There's not much to her, but when she's on screen, she commands your attention. I want to see more of her. There's going to be a Jodie Houser comic book coming out soon for her, and Jodie Houser is amazing when it comes to Doctor Who comic books. Now, John Hurt, the legend, the War Doctor, gets a B. You know what? I think he's actually better than Paul McGann. There's only one episode with John Hurt. If you're not counting his cameo with the name of the Doctor, his is the Day of the Doctor 50th anniversary. I love him. And because, like, same thing with Paul McGann, he was only in one thing. To be fair with Paul McGann, we're also going to include the Big Finish work that he's done, and include the Big Finish work of because he did pass away, Big Finish work of the War Doctor, not just John Hurt. And that is the War Doctor Begins, which I think is the greatest run that I've listened to personally. I haven't listened to everything Big Finish, but personally it's the greatest. I love it. I think this is a fair assessment of a tier list. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, of course, this is only for now, because 14th Doctor is coming very soon with Big Dick Davies returning as the showrunner. Can't wait for that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out that video right there for another banger of a video.